right, I want you to imagine the scene with me. It's Valentine's Day, Saturday, February 14th, 2026. We're in Italy at the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. And if you could just transport yourself inside that arena right before the final group of men took the ice, the air wasn't just exciting, it was heavy. You know that specific kind of tension where it feels like the oxygen has just been sucked out of the room?
Oh, absolutely. It's that suffocating anticipation where 5,000 people are afraid to even cough.
Exactly, because they feel like they might disturb the universe. And the reason for that tension was simple.
Everyone knew it was supposed to happen.
Everyone in that building, and millions watching at home, thought they were about to watch a coronation. We all had a script in our heads.
It was supposed to be a done deal.
We had the ultimate Goliath standing there, Ilia Malinin, the American. They call him the Quad God, and it's not just some cute nickname.
No, it's a literal description of what he can do.
He's the reigning world champion, the only human being to land a quad axel in competition. He had already helped the U.S. win team gold earlier in the games, where, by the way, he did a backflip on the ice just to show off.
Which is illegal in competition usually, but it's the ultimate flex.
Right, he's leading after the short program. The gold medal isn't just a possibility. Statistically, it's his to lose.
And that phrase, his to lose, is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. In figure skating, being the Goliath isn't just about having the best jumps. It's a massive psychological burden.
Right.
The expectation isn't just that he wins, it's that he destroys the field, that he defies physics on command every single time.
And then, sitting quietly in fifth place, you have the David of our story, Mikhail Shaidorov.
From Kazakhstan.
He's 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Is he talented? Absolutely. A world silver medalist. But on this specific night, with the gap in points, he's not really in the conversation for gold.
He was what we'd call a dangerous underdog, the kind of guy you expect to fight, tooth and nail for a bronze.
Maybe steal his silver if things go crazy.
Exactly, if things get chaotic at the top. But gold, the math it just didn't look like it was there. The gap was too wide.
And yet, over the course of a few hours, everything we thought we knew just evaporated. Today, on The Deep Dive, we're going to unpack one of the biggest upsets in Olympic history.
It really was a stunning turn of events. We're going to look at how the sure thing crumbled under what had to be just immeasurable pressure.
And how Shaidorov didn't just step through an open door.
He kicked it down with a performance that blended technical mastery with a really fascinating mindset.
We have a lot to get through. We need to talk about the numbers behind the collapse because they are honestly wild.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Kazakhstan's history because this is way bigger than one medal. And we're going to talk about why a high-fashion Italian publication is comparing the new Olympic champion to Timothy Chalamet in Dune.
I was hoping we'd get to the fashion. It sounds frivolous, I know, but I promise you the engineering in those costumes is actually key. It's not just about sparkles anymore.
I can't wait. We're pulling from race reports, official statements, some really interesting fashion analysis. But let's start with the coronation that wasn't. Let's talk about Ilia Malinin.
Right. So to really understand why this went so wrong, you have to grasp the sheer audacity of what Malinin was trying to do. He wasn't playing it safe.
He was trying to push the sport to a place it had never been. He planned 7 quadruple jumps. 7.
Which is just astronomical. It is the most difficult layout ever attempted at an Olympics. Just to give you some context, a few cycles ago, landing 1 quad was the gold standard.
That made you a king.
It did, and he's trying to do 7 in 4 minutes.
And that included the quad axel.
Yes, the big one.
Okay, for the listener who might tune into skating once every 4 years, can you break down why the quad axel is such a big deal? Why is this the white whale of the sport?
It all comes down to the physics of the takeoff. For almost every other jump, the lutz, the flip, you name it, you take off skating backward.
Okay.
The axel is the only jump where you take off skating forward.
So you're moving forward into it?
Right. But you always have to land backward, which means to do a quad axel, you aren't doing 4 rotations. You have to do 4.5 rotations to get your body around.
So like a whole extra half rotation more than any other quad jump in existence.
Exactly. And that half rotation is the difference between glory and, a broken ankle. It requires incredible height, incredible speed. Malinin is the only one who does it. It's his signature.
But this is where the psychology kicks in. He entered the free skate with a lead. He had the momentum, but then the unraveling began right from the start. He went for that signature quad axel, and he popped it.
Popped. Ugh, that's the nightmare word for any skater.
Explain what that actually means, the papa jump.
Well, it's basically a safety mechanism. The skater takes off, and mid-air, the brain realizes, or the body realizes, I don't have the rotation or I'm off axis. And instinctively, to save themselves from a horrific fall, they just open their arms to stop the spin.
So they bail out.
They bail out mid-air. So instead of 4.5 rotations, he did a single axle, just 1.5.
Ouch. That has to be a huge points hit.
It's massive. We're talking a swing of maybe 10 to 12 points.
Instantly gone.
Instantly vanishing from the scoreboard.
Right.
But psychologically, that has to be devastating. You're 3 seconds into your program, the music is swelling, and your biggest weapon just completely misfired.
And it seemed like it just snowballed from there. It wasn't just the one mistake.
No, it became a cascade. He had 2 really heavy falls. One on a quadlets, which is usually a money jump for him, and then another fall on a double salchow, of all things.
A double. For the quad god. I mean, that sounds like a warm-up jump for him.
And that shows you exactly where his head was. When you're in that downward spiral, even the easy elements, and I use that word very loosely, become incredibly difficult. Your timing is gone. Your confidence is shattered.
He only landed 3 clean quads out of 7.
Out of the planned 7, yeah.
The reports describe the crowd reaction as hushed gasps. You know that feeling? When you're watching a titan stumble, it's just uncomfortable.
It's almost too intimate.
Yeah. And Malinin was shaking his head on the ice. He looked visibly distraught. He even said later something like, I can't process what just happened.
It's heartbreaking, really, because we forget these are young people under a microscope. He finished 8th overall. His free skate score was 156.33.
Which is more than 80 points below his personal best.
80 points.
80. That is a statistical collapse. That's not just a bad day. That's a catastrophe.
It is. And I think Yuma Kagiyama, the Japanese skater who took silver, put it best. He was interviewed afterward, and he said something like, the whole world was expecting him to win. That must have been an immeasurable amount of pressure.
It's the curse of the front runner.
It really is. It reminds us that reputation alone cannot secure gold. The ice is slippery for everyone, literally and metaphorically.
So, while Malinin is struggling with the weight of the world, let's flip the script to the guy who was sitting in 5th, Mikhail Shaidorov. What was his mindset going into this?
Well, usually they are backstage, but they can hear the scores. They can feel the vibe. But Shaidorov's approach was completely different. He wasn't defending a lead. He wasn't trying to prove he was a god.
He said his goal was just to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, and show what he'd learned. He literally said, tonight the stars aligned.
I love that. It's almost like by letting go of that desperate need to win, he created the space to actually do it.
There's a lot of truth to that, the whole flow state idea, but let's not downplay the technical side here. He didn't win just because he was chill. He delivered an absolute technical masterclass.
He did. He landed 5 quadruple jumps.
Which we have to pause and appreciate that. In any other era, 5 quads would be an impossible feat. It's only compared to Malin's proposed 7 that 5 sounds somehow safe.
Right. Safe is relative. Like saying climbing K2 is safer than climbing Everest. They're both deadly.
Exactly. It wasn't safe. It was composed. There's a difference. He wasn't flailing. He was executing.
Talk to me about that combination he does, his trademark. The triple axle quad salchow.
Okay, this is really nerdy, but it's fascinating. Usually skaters do a quad first, then attach a smaller jump. Shaidorov does a triple axle, that big forward takeoff lands it, and immediately bounces into a quad salchow.
Wait, so he uses the landing of one jump as the takeoff for a quadruple jump?
Yes, it requires incredible rhythm. If you're off balance even a millimeter on that first landing, the second jump is impossible. You just have no speed. To do that under Olympic pressure, it's just nails.
And he nailed it.
He nailed it. He also hit a quad lutz, quad toe loop, quad flip. He was attacking the program, but with a different energy. It wasn't frantic. It was precise.
And the numbers back it up. He surged from 5th all the way to 1st.
Yeah.
His technical element score was 114.68, the best in the field.
That technical score, the TES, that's the key. In modern skating, you have 2 scores, tech and components or artistry. You can have all the artistry in the world, but if you don't have the tech score, you aren't winning gold in 2026. Shaidorov had both.
Total score, 291.58. I love the image of him after he finished. The report says he just fell backward onto the ice in disbelief.
It's that complete release of tension. He knew he'd done something special.
But he didn't know he'd won yet, right? He had to sit and wait.
That's the most agonizing part. The leader's chair. He sits there in first place and has to watch the top 4 guys try to beat his score.
It's like watching a horror movie where you're the final survivor.
He watched Adam Xiao Him Fa from France falter, Then you watched Malinin collapse. And you can just imagine the roller coaster. You're thinking, maybe I get bronze. Then, oh wow, I have silver. And then slowly it dawns on you, wait a second, I'm gold.
From fifth to gold. It's the definition of seizing the moment, and I have to mention the sportsmanship. Despite Malinin's devastation, he embraced Shaidorov, called the competitors a big figure skating family.
That's pure class. Especially when you're hurting like that, it shows a lot of maturity for Malinin.
Okay, so let's unpack the so what of this, because this isn't just a cool upset story. For Kazakhstan, this is massive.
It's monumental. You have to look at the history books. This is Kazakhstan's first ever Olympic figure skating gold medal, ever.
Wow, not just for men, for the whole sport.
The whole sport. Men, women, pairs, dance. And if you zoom out to all winter sports, it's their first gold since 1994 in Lillehammer.
1994, that's, what, over 30 years ago? Who was that?
Vladimir Smirnov, cross-country skiing, a legend. But think about that gap. For 32 years, 8 winter games, they haven't heard their anthem played for a gold medalist. Shaidorov just broke a 3-decade drought.
That explains the reaction from the top. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev sent congratulations immediately. And Shaidorov is getting a huge state honor, right?
Yes, the Order of Berries 2 degree. It's one of the highest honors in Kazakhstan. It shows you just how much this means for national pride.
There's also a bittersweet element to this, though. You can't really talk about figure skating in Kazakhstan without talking about Denis Ten.
This is the emotional heart of the story for so many skating fans. Denis Ten was the trailblazer. He won bronze in Sochi in 2014. That was Kazakhstan's first skating medal of any color. He put the country on the map.
But then came the tragedy.
Yeah. In 2018, in Almaty, Denis Ten was killed. It was so senseless. He was stabbed during an altercation. He was only 25 years old.
I remember that. Just absolutely gutting.
It was a national tragedy. It devastated the skating world. And so for Shaidorov to have this moment and to immediately pay tribute to Ten, it connects the past to the present. It feels like he's carrying that torch.
It